Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report and Sam's Mental Health Day. Today we're doing Sam on Sports. This is a great time for the Royals to build a new stadium when they're on the cusp of making the second round playoffs in the stadium proposal. I was not a big fan of the one in the Washington Park, but that might be where it be. It's an older design. It looked like from the design for the baseball stadium. We might as well just go back to 2009 at Washington Park Grounds Ballpark. The video suggests that they may be able to tear down another guy, Scott Park, in the video suggested that maybe they should tear down Arrowhead and leave Royal Stadium right where it is. This is a great place for where he says for the Royals. Park says Arrowhead looks its age. Brian Ellis states that would never happen if the Royals would return to play at Kauffman Stadium. The Washington Crowns does get where it has to be no votes to build it. This won't be overarching story. Eric says the ballpark might be a mess downtown stadium, but soon they'll be talking about the ballpark no longer the vote. In Washington Stadium downtown as well, Wesson says people may not be ready for change. Nick Haynes proposes that the idea that we have the draft for the Royals, we have the parade for downtown. Why wouldn't this work? Liz Rodriguez says there's parking, not right there. The only thing they'll be losing is the tailgating. You will not be able to sit and go tailgate right downtown. What Kansas City officials believe that it will be overridden by the baseball parks and the restaurants, which will overtake tailgating. That's their hope. There is no transportation like the DC train to take to the ballpark, though. They had better get some more streetcars out there to be impactful. They also talked about Chiefs practice facility in North KC. It would be an impactful thing for North KC. North KC is aggressive, but not seem. Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas went to the playoffs. Is that a lobby gift? Is that something that they spend taxes on? The answer is no, but he is taking time out of his job. In the MLB tonight on Wednesday.
Now, it was a week in which it seemed like Kansas City only cared about one thing, sports, and adding to the newsworthiness, a battle for eyeballs as a rare clash in prime time forced Kansas City fans to pick between watching the Chiefs and the Royals. Did anyone really, though, care about any other news stories in Kansas City this week? It seems every single detail took up our entire newscasts, from the shirt sales to Taylor Swift's painted-on glitter freckles, Lisa.
I mean, certainly this was the biggest story of the week, and no question. But how nice does that feel to have two teams in the playoffs, to have this dominating our headlines? We are constantly bogged down by politics, by elections, by crime, and I know we'll get to all of that today, but it feels nice for this to be the biggest
But Scott,
story.
you and I are in the same business. We have to fill time to have important things that are happening to talk about. And again, if it wasn't for the hurricane and the Chiefs and the Royals, the Kansas City Star might have been just one page this week.
Or maybe half a page. But I will say this, being in the talk radio business, sometimes you have to talk about not sometimes, all the time. You have to talk about what's on the minds of the people listening to your program.
Absolutely.
And I lost count of how many texts we got during the show this week that said, have you morphed into a sports station? No, of course we haven't. But this is what everybody's talking about, and it's exciting, and it's not violent, and it's not political. And I'm trying to think of a time in the history of these two teams when they have both been in the playoffs at the same time, and I'm struggling to think of a year.
So exciting times with the Royals basking in more love and attention. that I think they have in so long. Was this the opportunity for John Sherman saying, hey, let's move forward right now? It's not going to be a better time, Eric. We need to move forward with a plan for a new Royals ballpark right now.
He can either do that or he can market it someplace else. He's got a golden opportunity right now. Last year they lost 108 games. This year they're in the playoffs. So this is a great time for the Royals and for John Sherman.
Any evidence he's ready to pull the trigger at this moment in time, taking advantage of the fact that the city seems to have just changed to a shade of blue this week?
It's interesting. It seems like he's actually pulled back from pressing forward on the stadium conversations. I saw that he was at the game on Wednesday night, sitting in the front row behind home plate, very much into the game. You haven't heard him talking about the stadium proposals, and it seems like there is perhaps a concerted effort to give that some space, to give it a rest, so that folks can get excited about baseball again. As I've said on this program before, I think that is politically beneficial to him down the road.
Now, several interesting new developments did surface this week about that, though. Plans for building a new Royals ballpark next to Crown Center got a big boost thanks to a front-page story in the Business Journal, which claims Kansas City can gift Washington Square Park to the Royals so the project can move forward without a public vote. According to the report, the Parks Board has the authority to just lease the ground to the Royals for free. While the site near Crown Center was not one of the original proposed locations, the Business Journal says it solves multiple problems, including no need to demolish small businesses or low-income apartments to build the stadium. Where we rank locations, is this now the top of the list, Scott?
The Washington Square Park idea, if I could be blunt, is the dumbest idea that I think I've ever heard.
Now seriously, now be honest with us, Scott.
I don't understand the team or the city's obsession with a downtown baseball park. And I was watching the playoffs this week when they were at Kauffman Stadium, when they lost that game 2-1 when they lost the game to the Yankees in Game 3. And it dawned on me, maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. Maybe we tear down Arrowhead and leave Kauffman Stadium right where it is. It is a beautiful, modern-looking baseball park where Arrowhead looks its age. I think the Royals need to stay out at the Truman Sports Complex. I really do. Or if they have to move downtown, the northeast side, that idea I still think is the best one.
And that is not going to happen. The Royals are not going to stay at Kauffman Stadium. I think that is the only thing that I think is clear from all of these conversations. They're going to go somewhere else. I think the downtown stadium idea, the interesting thing about the Crown Center proposal is that if it does move forward, as is now being predicted, without any kind of vote of the people, is there may be initial outcry that has happened after the no vote earlier, but that will pass. And a few years down the road, folks won't be talking about what happened with a vote or no vote. They'll just be assessing the stadium. That's probably the best outcome for the Royals, and it gets them out a lot of the problems that they were going to have with any of the other proposed sites.
Our viewer Joe asks, where would you park and tailgate if it's right there near Crown Center? And how do you expect 20 to 40,000 people to get in and out of there 80 to 100 times a year?
You probably wouldn't. It probably would be a mess. But downtown stadiums are a trend. I was recently in Washington, D.C. They've got a downtown baseball stadium. Parking doesn't seem to be a problem for them either. And then they've got a little entertainment district around it. That seems to be the trend. But I think people here have gotten so spoiled with Arrowhead and Kauffman Stadium being right there that they're not ready to make a change.
I always find it interesting, though, people say that, where are we going to park? How are we going to get that many people?
It will be the Dodgers and Mets. Players to watch out for: Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Tommy Edman, Teoscar Hernandez, Chris Taylor, Walker Buehler. Watch out for Luis Severino, Pete Alonso for the Mets. Game time, and Luis Severino, who's pitching for the Mets. Game time is 7:08. Mets series tied at 1-1. And last night, the Yankees take a 2-0 lead in the series as the Yankees win 6-3. NFL news: we mentioned Devontae Adams being traded yesterday and headed to the Jets. Amari Cooper was traded from the Bills to the Browns, so the Chiefs do not get Amari Cooper. Chiefs looking for smaller ideas. Cam Akers back in Minnesota. Other moves to become. That's Sam on Sports.